Hey all, welcome back. This is Dino, the production guy. This is Production Management in Practice, or Stardew Production Management 101. You get to pick because it's really got two names that we haven't decided on. But this is episode 31 of essentially it's a free course in production management. So if it's episode 31, there must be 30 episodes before that. I tend to do things chronologically, or at least numerically. So if you want to go back and see those, but really this is a course that rather than start as a textbook kind of situation, we actually get to real world situations so that what you learn relates to real situations. And I'd love to take you to a real factory where real stuff happens, where real machines are and real people can get hurt, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to have a virtual factory in Stardew Valley. You have the factory pretty much on your computer. So you can play along, but the principles that we're going to discuss actually relate to real production situations. For example, we just finished spring, so in episode 30 we talked about the operational review, the numbers, and I thought we got some really good numbers as far as how we did in the spring and some sort of learning points from that. We're going to close off on that this episode with the strategic review. The strategy being we're going to finish the bundles, or the plan is to finish the bundles in the community center. And in a situation like that, it's hard to create a metric around that because, whether you're 40% done or 80% done in a project sense, what does that really mean? Are you closer? Hard to say. So we're going to discuss that at the end of this episode. But before that, we want to get into the factory. We want to give Av a chance to do his thing. So we have some objectives for Av. Av, you forgot to build the third scarecrow, and we're getting a bit worried that we're going to lose all our crops to crows. So how about that? As well, water the crops, a lot of crops to water, pet the chicks, and process the eggs in the coop. Today's a good day for mining. There's some good luck here. Also, if you have some free time, we're just short for the grapes in the bundle for fall foraging or summer foraging. There's a train station that just opened. I don't know if you saw the last episode. There was an earthquake. That means that the rock has gone leading to the train station. So foraging there is a good idea. If you get a chance to fish, not a great day for fishing necessarily, but if you get a chance to fish, certainly if you see the rings. The tilapia, where you can fish those until 2. Puffer fish, very tight window of 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. And sturgeon up until 7. So it's an earlier fishing day for the bundles we want. If you fish after that, you can still get some good fish. Certainly if there's rings there, some good returns. But those are really what we're looking for strategically. So fair bit on your plate, but a lot of it really is that mining piece of it. Basically just farming, getting the farm up to speed, and then taking off to the mine. So it's up to you how you're going to approach that. We're going to send it over to you, Av. Okay, thanks, Dino. He's such a positive guy. All right, going to be sunny all day. We are going to have good humor. Kind of knew that from yesterday, though, but that's okay. And then radish salad, we already knew how to make. Oh, we got some mail. Let's see. Oh, yes, Mayor Lewis lost his fantastic purple shorts. We think we know where they are, but we're going to need a little more connection with Marnie before we can get those for him. Let's clear out some of the really good return stuff. So we'll reload up the jars, say hi to Meow, clear up our area. We 5S'd it for a reason, so we can keep it clear. We'll have to come back and get that stone. We're going to move this tapper so that it's more visible. The other part of the 5S is we want to be able to see it so we can keep it clear, but also we want to be able to see when the syrups are ready. So that's sort of the plan there. Again, we did a 5S. If you're not familiar with the term 5S, it's basically making things visible by having stuff clean and clear. It's often misunderstood as a cleaning process. It's not. It's more to do with the visibility than cleaning. So, okay, we'll say hi to the girls here. Hi, girls. And get the eggs. And it was raining last night, so we'll have to refill the hay trough, the feed trough, and let them free range a bit. That's cool. We're going to refill our egg machine, or our mayonnaise machine, I guess, and might as well take care of the fish while we're at it, the potted fish. crab pots. So we got some trash. That's good. That's going to give us either iron or coal in return. Maybe there's a third item, but either of those I'd be happy with. Oh, stone. I think it can be stone. All right, not as happy with, but still it's good to get some stone. We do want to put our maple syrup away as a B item. It's not something we use every day, so we don't want it in the main chest. We talked about ABC inventory models earlier, much earlier on, I think day 3 or day 4, episode 3 or episode 4 kind of thing. But as well, we're going to get everything, see, there's the coal. We're going to get everything watered. That'd be good. We do need a third... Dino's right on this aspect. We do need a third scarecrow, which I tend to forget to make. So let's get all of our crops watered, and then we'll make our way towards the third scarecrow. The other thing is I'm looking, we have enough iron, we have enough money, and we're not going to use our axe today. So I'm thinking what we may want to do is upgrade the axe to an iron axe, and that has a lot of good possibilities, a lot of good potential. So it doesn't hurt to clean up around the farm, any axeable stuff. You know, we might as well come back and get those stumps too. So the stumps are good early on from this standpoint. They do take up some time. But if we do get, just as we did there, we got a mahogany seed, we can plant them, and that creates a little mahogany grove. And we use a lot of mahogany later on. Not so much right away, but when we do need it, it's going to be like in the 80 and the 100 and the 200 sort of volumes. So we like to create a grove early on. So we're going to affect that. Let's make that scarecrow before we forget one more time. So we're going to close up what's going on here, reload our iron, get enough iron so that we can take it to Clint to upgrade our axe. Planning ahead, here we go. We also want to clear off all the stuff that is going to be cashable. So Pierre's is not open on Wednesdays, so we're not looking for selling it at Pierre's. Sometimes we'll do that if we need to spend that money the same day, but we have enough money for what we need. It's going to be $5,000 for Clint, and we got more than that, so that's going to be good. Let's clear some. We can't even see where we're going to be planting. I don't want to use the scythe on smaller trees because it'll decimate them or kill them, I guess. So I do want visibility, and that tree does look like it's a mahogany tree, even though it's not in our pattern. So I want to leave it to see if it comes up the way we think it's. Oh, there's moss. I didn't even notice that we had created some moss. So moss has a couple good benefits. There's going to be a green rain day where we're going to get a ton of moss. But until then, moss is in short supply. One other thing, I want to keep the moss just in case we do see rings. We're not going to the ocean. We're going to not have time for that. But up in the mountain lake, if we see rings, we're going to quickly mix that moss with bait and make some deluxe bait. And that'll give us a better fishing chance. If not, it's just a matter of having moss with us. It's not going to hurt anything. Pierre's is not open, but we'll check the board to see what... oh, Robin wants some grapes. That's excellent. I didn't know Robin watched TV. There you go. You learn something new every day, you do. So we're going to make our way to Clint. I don't see any forage items over on this side. Otherwise, we could take a bit of a detour. But we're just going to focus on the task of getting up to the lake, look for rings, and getting up to mine. So that'll be sort of on our plan. You know what? We should stop off and drop off our red snapper because it's just going to take up space until we get that third level backpack. Space can be a problem. It's kind of tripped us up a couple times in the past, and I don't want it to get in the way. If we just haven't been going this close to the community center, I might as well get that taken care of, that done. So let's make our way up. We know that Robin wants a grape, so if we can see a grape, this is a good time to give it to her, and then take the second grape for the bundles. Don't see any rings. If we did see some rings, like I said, we could snap that bait together. There's a grape. Snap that bait together and do some fishing right away before 7 p.m. is what we were hoping for those sturgeons. So we got that grape. We're going to give it to Robin. She's probably just coming out of her house right now. They're probably perfect timing. There we go. It's just one of those things that sometimes the timing works, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll get that money. And I want to look for grapes on the way back. Usually we're full on the way back, and grapes are pretty important. So, oh, there it was. There's one grape. Oh, there's another grape too. We got 2 grapes. So I'm kind of glad I did that. I don't want to be walking out of here full-handed and not have room for... And there are 2 different grapes. So that'd be... So this is the train station. We don't normally see this early on. But there was, like I said, an earthquake last night. So we're going to get some seeds if we can. And the other thing I recognized too is we didn't bring a whole lot of... food with us. I think there's some food, but just in case, I don't know if anyone's used the spa, but the spa regenerates all of your health. So we are going to go in and use the spa because, yeah, so there's not enough food there. That way we don't have to use a lot of food. So we're going to go in. I'm just going to leave my shirt on. Even though in the video, this is going to be a censored scene, would have to have the black bars here. You don't want to see my nakedness. So just let Av soak up. You can see the E bar going up and up and up, and it's so soothing. Om, om. All right, we're done. All right, so we're just going to get back to the mine. We've pretty much done enough procrastination. It's time for mining. If we see a ring, for sure we'll pop in. But even if we get it this late at night, we're not going to be able to get a sturgeon. So that kind of diminishes the return of what we're going to see. So it's just going to be for cash. Let's get into the mine and get a few floors. Hopefully we'll get a bundle of 5 or more, or 5 or 10 or whatever the case. So we are going to take those spring onions. Probably won't need them given that we've been at the spa, and of course we will get some more. Slime is okay, but certainly I like getting the coal from these guys, the little bouncy dust bunnies. They're pretty good. We are supposed to have pretty good luck, so hopefully we'll see a ladder before too long. That would be good. And we can move on. We started a bit late. I'm not sort of concerned. I mean, as long as we get, there we go, there's a ladder. As long as there are a couple of ladders. No, let's use our weapon here. Oh, another one. Let's get this iron. Let's get this dust guy. And then we'll cut through. Maybe we'll make it. Oh, it's almost 11. It's getting tight time. But if we focus on just the dusties and the irons before we need to, and then we will find some. There's also some more coal at the end of this one, but we're not going to go. We're going to leave that for another time. Okay, show me. I'm going to stand in a situation where I can, if I kill these guys and they give me a ladder, I can use it right away. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. No, we got already sleep warning. Okay, so let's go back. We'll get that quartz because it's here. Why not? And head out. Again, I'm glad we got the grape earlier so that we don't have to factor it into how we plan our inventory here. We're going to prioritize. I want to get rid of some of those spring crops too. Let's get the dandelion in there if we can. The moss is pretty valuable too. We'll find a way to get the moss. We'll leave the quartz behind. That's fine. Okay, we're good. Let's make our way. Run, speed, fast to the farm. And we still have to close up the barn, the coop. So we'll have to close the coop door. We'll run over there right away. I had some fantasies of actually planting some seeds in new locations, but planning where those locations are and getting the seeds available, and given the timeline, it's not going to work out. So we just got that coal because I know it's valuable. You know what? I'll probably mess up and not refill the... tomorrow we'll fill the recycle machine. We'll figure that out. That's not hard. We normally will do that. So a lot of the stuff goes to the plant container. Now we do have enough for not a spring bundle but a summer bundle, and there's still a grape left over so that we can use it in the community center bundle. So we're gonna make that summer seeds only to sell it. Again, the calculations aren't exactly the same, but certainly they're in favor of using the forage items to make the seeds and then selling the seeds. That's sort of the best way to go, and that's typical of those seasonal packs that you're better off selling them. So we'll get rid of our value and hop in bed. Don't worry about the iron because we don't have enough for a new load. So, well, we did well, 2,500. Now, normally some of that would go to Pierre, but Pierre's was closed, so maybe that's a normal number right now. Oh, we got a new achievement of 500,000. That's awesome. Clear out, fortune teller. Yes, the spirits are whispering something. They're very happy. This is going to be a good thing. And then living off the land. Sure, we'll let you go. I'm going to send it back to you. Thanks, Av. That was a really good run. Too bad we didn't get the 5 floors, but we got a lot of other stuff done. Getting the axe in, I think, was a good move. So we'll get right to the review. We did get the third scarecrow built. That's awesome. I feel I can breathe easier now. We watered the crops. A lot of crops to water. At some point, we may want to look at maybe, we'll hopefully get more sprinklers. But is it the right number? Should we be paring those back? Whatever the case. So we got the coop things covered. And we got the mine. We didn't get all 5 floors, but got a fair bit of iron. Why didn't we have enough? I thought we had enough iron, but it looked like we only had 9 at the end. But we'll have to figure that out. Still good, better than nothing. We did get the grapes. Yay! We got enough grapes for Robin, for the bundle, which will happen the next day, I guess, and even for blending for the seeds for that money. So that was a good return. Train station had a lot of mixed seeds and a lot of mixed flower seeds. So that was good, and a chance to figure out the spa. We didn't get any fishing done, and that's okay. But the next thing I do want to do is talk about, we talked about the performance operationally in episode 30 from the spring. The spring went very, very well operationally, and you can go back and see that. But we didn't talk about strategically, and I think this is an important thing from a production management class situation. We have this strategy where we want to finish all the bundles. And we can look at what bundles we've done and what bundles we haven't done and what percentage. And the percentage doesn't mean anything. So I've seen this situations like this represented where 80% done or 20% done. The last 5% could be like 80% of the work. So this is what we call an ordinal situation, that maybe the numbers, you do step 1 and then step 2 and then step 3 in order. But step 1 and step 2 and step 3 may not be the same length. Step 3 could be longer than step 1 and step 2 combined, kind of thing. So to represent this, the best, I don't know if there's a perfect way, but sort of the best way I've come up with is pictorially to say, these are the 6 bundles that we have to fill. And in the crafts room, we got that little green flower, check. And we have a circle around the yellow. So the green is the spring foraging. We got that one. And we got summer foraging. We'll have that done quickly because we got the grapes for, that's the last one for that one. So as well, and actually we got the, looks like we got that red flower, the craft. So that must have been the wood and hardwood and the stone. So that's the, I guess, the commodities bundle. As well, in the pantry, we got the spring vegetables done, or the spring crops done. We have the summer crops that we're going to do, and it's important that we affect that the second one, the quality one, which is that blue one. And bulletin board, we're not going to touch any of that until the fall. The fish tank, we have got the middle done, which is the crab pots. We got that one done early. That was nice. And we're probably going to get the ocean done because we got the red snapper, and it's just a matter of getting tilapia. So we should have those done. The vault we're not going to touch until the fall. And then in the boiler room, we're going to finish the boiler room. The plan is this summer. So we're going to get the red quartz for that little purple bundle. And we are going to get the gold bar for the orange bundle. And that's all we need to finish the boiler room. And that's going to give us a minecart. So that's going to give us a big hand for being able to get around the map pretty quickly. But this is the metric that I would recommend. It doesn't look like a metric because it's not a number. It doesn't go up or down or whatever. But I want all the red circles done. That's the target for summer. It's very clear. It's objective. It's not subjective. And if we can accomplish these things, we are on track. If we cannot accomplish these things, we are not on track. And it does not get into the issues of, are we 80% done? Are we 20% done? Are there 4 items left? Are there 2 items left? We can actually, I guess, in another sense, I kind of did that in the middle with the bullets. These are the things we have to do on a bullet basis, which represents the pictures that I just showed. This does not look like a metric, but to me, this is the most important way, or the best way, to actually look at the strategy and how we're completing on that strategy. Furthermore, I do want to talk about, if our bottleneck is time during the day, then how we use that time during the day does need some analysis. So I did an audit of day 25, 26, and 27 just to get rough times for how much time was mining, how much time was farming, how much time was foraging, etc. And mining took up most of the time. 40% of our free time was mining. That's a lot. 20% was farming, 10% was foraging. And if you remember the numbers from episode 29, farming was far and away the biggest money maker. Mining was pretty low on. So mining may not be the most lucrative, but if we go back to, we're running to a strategy, on a strategic level, mining is where we should be spending some time. So this is actually consistent with what we're doing. Now, maybe you think, okay, we can even do better than this. We can get how much money per hour we're doing mining. And that's normally the direction I would try and fill. One of the problems is, if we do that time study, and I've tried to do that time study, in fact, the 40%, 20% came out of a time study like that. There are a few issues with that. One, the tasks really aren't distinct. So if I'm going to the traveling cart on days of Friday and Sunday, I'm also sort of going to Cinder Forest for foraging. So does that mean the time going towards the cart should be foraging? Should we not include the cart at all? Likewise, if I'm doing fishing, I could have a category for fishing with rings or fishing without rings. The point is, at some point, we need some fish. So that kind of gets muddier. And then going to Pierre's. I mean, I'm just going to go to Pierre's any day he's pretty much open and I have something to sell. So now I'm closer to a whole bunch of other things. Should that time going towards Pierre's be part of ocean foraging, etc.? So clarification on this minute or this hour in the game, assigning it to one or another kind of this activity-based costing notion, is fraught with problems, because that activity gets spread among other things. So it's not really clear. And putting too much sort of assumptions into that, too much subjective matter into that, really imposes a bias on what's going on. That if we say anything going towards the ocean is ocean time, well, that's a bias that we've introduced. The other thing is, we do not have a perfect time system. Parsing time is not clear. So for example, I can fill Meow's water. I can pet Meow. I can harvest the honey. I can harvest all the syrups. I can do all these things within a 10-minute block, and I can't really cut those down to one is 1 minute or 2 minutes, because on the clock, it's just 10 minutes. It's the smallest increment we can get. So getting too close to something, anything smaller than 10 minutes, is nigh impossible. So the study itself has problems, and even if we could get good numbers, and clearly we're not going to get the best numbers, we're going to get sort of numbers. Even if we got good numbers, there's going to be a statistical failure, and statistics is one of those courses that nobody really expects to understand. The teachers don't expect you to understand it. The students don't expect to understand it. The statistics, I mean, let's put it this way. I did an engineering degree. I did a math almost degree. I did an MBA. I did a Six Sigma course, like full Six Sigma black belt. And then I started a PhD. And in each of those situations, the people teaching stats assumed you knew nothing about stats. So we started from the beginning, even at the PhD level. It's like, you don't expect to us have understood this before, because this is like the 5th, 6th time I've taken this. Thankfully, I do have a fair understanding of it, but it's not easy to understand. So rather than try and teach statistics here, I do want to talk about the issues in statistics, statistical failures. So statisticians do get it wrong a lot. Again, it's a very concept to sort of get your head around. But at the end of the day, even if they do it right, there's always going to be complaints. And I really want to get to that point of it. So statistics are not here to tell you the answer. I mean, usually in statistics class, people say, well, I know the answer is this because 80% of this and 5% of this, and there's a p-value and whatever. That's not the answer. If we could have gotten the answer, we didn't need statistics. Statistics tells us, we're going to have a guess. And that's all we can do. That's the best we can do. So it's best at saying, I think here's a model of how things are going on, and statistics can tell you within some probability that's not the model that's working. On a weaker sense, if you say, give me a number to tell me how many G per hour I'm getting, that's the weaker, and there's always going to be caveats on that. So let's get specifics. I've talked way too much in sort of concept. If I'm calculating the fishing G return per hour, and let's say, don't worry about the noise in the background. Let's say that I have two specific situations. One's a good situation, the blue, and one's a red situation, the bad. And these are PDFs, or probability distribution functions, to say, on one occasion, I got numbers from, let's say, 1 to 400, right? Both of them have a mean of 200. So in each case, chances are around 200 that we're going to get. If there's one time I get 150, then the next time I'm probably going to get 250, so that the average is 100. Essentially, over the long term, if I do enough of this, I am going to rest pretty close to 200 in either situation. But you can see in one, it's tight that the chances are very, very slim before 144 and very, very slim after 261. Where the red one, those are still probable, but the average is still the same. So the distribution of these are different because of what we would call the standard deviation. You don't have to know that. All I'm saying is there's a situation where the blue represents, if I put my line in the water, that's how much G per hour I can expect. And the red is if I put my line in the water. In both cases, if I do it infinitely long, I will end up with 200 G per hour. However, if I run the samples, I'm never going to get 200 because that would just be exhaustive. I'd have to look at every single cast. And at that point, I've already delayed enough that you're not going to get anything out of it. So I have to use some smaller sample than infinity of the universe. So let's say in my sample, I get for either one of them, I have 180 G per hour. And I say, going forward, you can expect on average 180 G per hour. Not because I'm trying to mess with them, but that's the best data that I can get, and it's not far from 200. It's reasonably close. So even after coming up with that target and the expected value, we still have to understand which scenario we're in. So if I look at 180 in the first scenario, I have a good feel for how much more we're going to get, or how much less, or how much wide the distribution is, etc. So my expectation is that if my 180 is my best guess, that blue distribution is what I'm thinking of in the good case, and the red distribution is what I'm thinking of in the bad case, both centered on the new value that's been given to me, 180, so that I have what's going on. In each case, I'm going to say, well, geez, if I'm expecting 180, then the chance of getting, like, let's say 120 should be very slim. So anytime I get less than 120, I'm going to go back to Dino and say, hey, I think you got this wrong. This does not make sense. You're saying 180. I'm even getting as low as 120. There's that threshold to say, below this number, someone's going to come knocking and say, Dino, you did the stats wrong. I did not do the stats wrong. The stats are the stats. The issue is the distribution. So if I look at the blue, going back to knowing the proper distribution is around 200, the chances of me getting 120 at any given point is minuscule. Very little. So in that situation, you're right. If you get less than 120, give me a call because there's probably something we missed. I agree. In the red situation, that's like more than 5% of the time you're going to get something like that. Not all the time. You're not going to get it 2, 3, 4 times in a row. But there will be a time where you're going to get less than 1 tone, and maybe it's your first time if you're unlucky, and you're going to say, Dino, we got it wrong. Dino didn't get it wrong. This is just the way distributions work. This is not a failure of the statistician. This is a failure of the understanding of statistics. This is where statistics go wrong. You are going to be disappointed because there is some threshold under which you've decided, oh, it can't possibly be this bad, and it is. So this is one of those things that you just have to get to. Reality is problematic, not stats. We can use stats to help understand some things, but it doesn't give us an answer, right? In cases where distribution is wide, it doesn't matter how good the statistician is. People are just going to be upset because their concept of, well, if you're saying this, I can either agree with it or disagree with it. But if I get less than that, I got to tell you something is wrong. It's not wrong. That's statistics. And in that sense, if you're going to do, sort of a situation like that, as a statistician, you may just not want to calculate it, right? If the variables under control are not giving you a nice tight distribution, telling someone the average is accurate, but not helpful. And in this case, when I look at the fishing, when I look at farming, when I look at mining, none of them are stable enough that it makes sense to use any number at all. So I don't calculate that number. We're just going to have to go forward blindly because shining a light on the wrong number is going to be worse. So hopefully you're getting something out of this. The story here with statistics is not really the answer. Reality is a problem, not statistics. In some cases, you just have to accept that fact and not try and pretend that stats is the answer. And that's a good point to understand in some production management classes like this one. So hopefully you're getting something out of this. Please leave comments if there's something we're not touching on that you'd like us to touch on. Maybe in a later episode, I will talk about how to use statistics in a good way that makes sense. We'll use an exercise when we actually have some stable distributions that makes sense to have statistics about. But otherwise, this is Dino the Ops Guy signing off. Hope to see you in the next episode.